The Profitable Empires framework has 7 layers, and those layers also happen to coincide with grow, profit, scale. So we've already talked about for grow, the first 2 layers was power and positioning. Power is all about you. It's your mindset. It's your healthiness. It's your spiritual energy and well-being. It's all of that. Positioning is how are you showing up? How is your brand showing up in the marketplace? For profit, we talked about layer number 3, which is your people. You need people. You cannot do this alone. You can up until a certain revenue point, and then if you continue to try to do this alone, you are going to burn out. Layer number 4 is processes. You need processes in place for your people to follow. Otherwise, you are actually creating profit leaks in your business because they are doing rework. They are reinventing the wheel every time that they do a task because they can't remember how they did it before and they can't remember what you want. So now we are talking about scale today, and we are going to cover layer number 5 and layer number 6. But before we do that, I want to talk about my formula, which is called Get Paid. PAID is an acronym. So if you like to take notes, and by now, if you've been hanging with me, you know you need notes. So PAID is an acronym, PAID. But before we talk about the acronym, I want you on your piece of paper to write down the revenue number that you desire for 2025. Write it down. What is that number? You don't have to tell me. You can put it in the chat if you like, or you can keep it to yourself. That's no problem. But what is the number? Because if you don't know your number, if you don't know where you're going, how is the GPS going to get you there? Yesterday, we gave an analogy of when you get into your car and you want to go to the mall and you put the mall address in your GPS. The GPS calculates how you're going to get to the mall by starting at the mall and then working backwards to where you are at that moment. And then it gives you the steps going forward to get to the mall. And so that's the same thing that happens in your business. In order for you to reach the revenue level that you desire, in order for you to scale the offer that you have right now and to reach that revenue level, you need to know what the number is. Is it 1,000,000? Now, come on. If you just arrived at 100,000, depending upon what you offer and who you have in place to support you, getting to 1,000,000 in 2025 is possible. And you need to be realistic. If you know that you have some work to do on the layers that we've already covered, if your brand is not strong in the marketplace, if you're not showing up consistently, then it is going to be a challenge to get from where you are to 1,000,000 if you're just at 100K. If you don't have people to help you, if you're trying to do everything yourself, it's going to be a challenge. On the other hand, if you're at 750K, then getting to 1,000,000 in 2025 is a breeze. If you're at 500K, getting to 1,000,000 in 2025 is a breeze. I'm going to even be bold enough to say that if you're at 250K, getting to 1,000,000 in 2025 can be a breeze. So check your layers. That is going to help you determine what this breeze looks like for you to the number that you wrote down. So now that you have your number, let's talk about Get Paid, because having all of those layers that we already discussed is necessary. And the Get Paid formula is the other part of the recipe. like we're making a cake here. We're making a revenue cake. So now that you have paid written down, the first P, the first letter in paid, the P, is participate. Now I'm going to come back to participate because in order for you to participate in the things that I share with you today, you have to have the A, the I, and the D in play. So let's go to the A. The A stands for automate. Yes, you absolutely need to automate. You have got to embrace technology. And my favorite these days is AI. Do not be afraid of AI. Do not shun away from AI. AI is going to help you accelerate your next 100K. You just have to understand that AI is not as smart as your coach. I spend so many hours using AI and actually fussing at AI. My AI chat continues to say, yes, you're right. Yes, you're right. Yes, that was brilliant. Because you have to understand that AI is a tool. It does not replace someone who is there to guide you, someone who's been there already. It's just information. It's just providing you with information. So embrace automation. There are some automation tools that you absolutely need in place. Number one on my list for automation is going to be an autoresponder, which is how you are collecting the names and the email addresses of people who are interested in your products and your services. People that you've done discovery calls with, people who have walked into your business. I work with local businesses as well, and they tend to not be collecting names and email addresses. People come in, they shop, they give them their merchandise, they leave. You don't know when you'll see them again. You need a way to build the relationship. You need a way to stay top of mind. When I'm working with my 7-figure clients, I am amazed at how many of them are still not building a list. Or if they have a list, they're not communicating with their list. The list is just sitting in the software. Do you know how much money is sitting in your list? So whether you are 6 figures or 7 figures, you need a list and you need to communicate with that list. Most coaches and consultants and strategists will tell you that it's important to have a list because you never know when social media will go away, just disappear, break down, shut down. And that is true. But the part that most of them forget to tell you is that your list is still software that could shut down tomorrow. It's just a business that's not guaranteed to be here every day. And so when you're building a list in that software, you still need to have a process in your business for regularly downloading your list. You need to keep that list someplace else other than on social media and inside of the software. Download the list, keep it in your computer. So if the software goes out of business, they didn't go out of business and take your list. They forget to tell you that part. So add that to your processes. Maybe it's once a month, right? The first of the month, you do housekeeping for your business. If you have a large company, you may want to do housekeeping such as that once a week. But it can be automated.